On May 19, 1925, in Omaha, Nebraska, a boy named Malcolm Little entered the world stacked against him. His father, Earl Little, was a preacher and a follower of Marcus Garvey, preaching black pride and self-reliance. But white supremacists hated him for it. When Malcolm was just 6 years old, his father was killed. Many believed it was done by racists. His mother, Louise, she struggled to hold the family together but was eventually institutionalized. By his teens, Malcolm was on the streets of Boston and Harlem, sharp-dressed, quick-talking, hustling to survive. In 1946, at just 21, he was arrested for burglary and sentenced to prison. But prison, instead of breaking him, transformed him. Behind bars, Malcolm devoured books, philosophy, history, religion, and through fellow inmates, he discovered the teachings of the Nation of Islam led by Elijah Muhammad. They taught discipline, self-respect, and a radical truth that black people in America had been brainwashed into believing they were inferior. When Malcolm walked out of prison in 1952, he was no longer Malcolm Little. He cast off his slave name and became Malcolm X, the X standing for the African name his ancestors lost. With fiery speeches, piercing logic, and raw charisma, Malcolm rose quickly in the Nation of Islam. By the late 1950s, he was one of its most powerful ministers, drawing thousands to meetings. His voice was thunder. He called white supremacy the devil, condemned the slow pace of integration, and told black people to stop begging for equality and instead demand dignity by any means necessary. The early 1960s made him a national figure. Television brought his words into living rooms across America. While Martin Luther King Jr. preached nonviolence, Malcolm warned, if someone puts a hand on you, send him to the cemetery. He was controversial, feared, admired, and impossible to ignore. But by 1964, cracks appeared. Malcolm grew disillusioned with Elijah Muhammad's leadership and left the Nation of Islam. That same year, he took a pilgrimage to Mecca, the Hajj. There he saw Muslims of every race praying side by side. It changed him. He returned as El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, preaching a broader message that racism was not just a black versus white struggle, but a human struggle for justice. This shift made him even more dangerous to his enemies. The Nation of Islam turned on him. The FBI had been watching him for years, and yet Malcolm kept speaking, founding the Organization of Afro-American Unity and linking the black struggle in America to global anti-colonial movements. On February 21, 1965, as he prepared to speak at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem, gunmen rushed the stage. Shots rang out. Malcolm X fell at just 39 years old. But though his life was cut short, his words did not die. His autobiography, published later that year, became a guide for generations hungry for truth. His fire lived on in the Black Power movement, in leaders from the Panthers to today's activists. And that's the story of Malcolm X, the boy who lost everything, the prisoner who remade himself, the minister who shook America, and the martyr who left behind a voice that still thunders by any means necessary. I'd like to know your thoughts on Malcolm X. For more stories like this, please follow, like, share, and subscribe.